So welcome back guys, this is Madhav PVL, and in this video we are going to discuss about AIDS, CO3 and CO4. So please consider subscribing my channel Works After College, and let us get into the video. Please also share with your friends. So now what is meant by traditional programming? So traditional programming is nothing but the oldest way in which we give the data and program to the computer and we expect the output. So data and the program is given and we expect the output, whereas machine learning is a bit different. Like we give data and we give the expected output and we tell computer to write a program. So that is machine learning. So when to use machine learning? Machine learning is used when human enterprise doesn't exist, when it is unable to explain. So some of the best tasks solved are, we can just write this as applications of machine learning, like recognizing patterns, generating patterns. So facial identities, handwritten, medical images, all those things. So what are types of machine learning? There are three types of machine learning. There are supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, reinforcement learning. So supervised machine learning is nothing but we will give some training data and also some test cases, like some outputs. And unsupervised data is nothing but we just give the training data without any outputs. It need to just find out the outputs according to the given conditions. So reinforcement is nothing but rewards from the sequence of action. So if it does the good thing, then we will give a positive reward. If it is doing a negative thing, then we will give a negative reward. So that is reinforcement learning. So now let us see what is meant by a supervised machine learning. So supervised machine learning is nothing but it need to just map up the input variables with the output variables. So what are the categories of the supervised learning? So classification, regression. Classification is nothing but predicting the categories. So dividing the whole data set into according to some categories is classification, whereas regression is nothing but to identify any relationship in between the input and output variables is regression. So some of the popular supervised machine learning algorithms are classification algorithms, regression algorithm, random forest, simple linear regression, decision tree. So some of the things we will discuss in this video. So now what is meant by unsupervised learning? So unsupervised learning is nothing but we just provide only the unsorted data, and we in the system need to know about the desired outputs according to the functionalities. So machines are constructed to find the hidden patterns. It is classified into two types: clustering and association. Clustering is nothing but it is just grouping of different categories. So different objects with some different categories are grouped with the help of this clustering. And association is nothing but find the dependencies of the data and map accordingly. So what is reinforcement learning? As I said before, reinforcement learning is completely depends upon this rewards. So good work will get a reward and the bad work will get punished. So there are two categories: positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. So what is classification? Classification is nothing but categorizing the given data is known as a classification. So categorizing them into separate classes is done with the help of this classification. Example, heart disease detection can be identified as a classification problem. So to detect some problems we can use this classification. So classification have some terms. They are classifier, classification model, feature, binary classification, multi-class classification, multi-label, initialize, train the classifier, predict the target. So these are the things you can just read it in the notes and you will get some clarity. So these are the basic terminologies of a classification. So now let us get into one of the important first topic, that is k-nearest neighbor, KNN. So what is the basic idea is nothing but it requires three things. So it requires a set of records and then distance metric compute between the records value of k number of nearest neighbors. So let us keep these three things aside. The basic thing is nothing but if there is a group of people, we need to just categorize male and female. We can do that according to their objectives. So classifying an unknown record, so it computes the distance in between the other records and identifies the k nearest neighbors using class labels to determine. So here we need to cluster the negatives towards one side and positive towards one side. So first it will cluster the positive and negative ones. So after it gets identified like these both are not having similarities, then it will just leave up those clusters and identify some other things. So it is nothing but clustering the objects in a group of data set. Is done with the help of k nearest neighbors. So nearest neighbors classification is done with the help of these three formulas. So Euclidean distance, Manhattan distance, Q norm distance. You need to remember these formulas to choose the value of k. So it is small is sensitive to noise. If it is large, neighborhood may include points from other classes. So there may be sometimes only one or two objects which were nearer to this clusters. So then it is sensitive to noise. Noise is nothing but the additional or unwanted data is known as a noise. So we need to reduce the noise. So if the data is large, if the elements are more nearer to you, then we can predict like there may be more number of unwanted data with this things. So we can even think like that. So okay, what is this decision tree? So decision tree is a bit different. So building decision tree is nothing but we can just see here. These are we can just say like ABC of 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. So we can just name them as their decisions, but this doesn't matter. The concept of this decision tree is a bit important. So all nodes drawn with a circular internal nodes, all nodes with rectangular boxes are called terminal nodes. Nodes with same label is never repeated. So basically decision tree is used for the other purpose which is deep forest algorithm. So for deep forest algorithm we need to have a basic knowledge regarding decision tree. So decision tree is nothing but randomizing some things and giving some decisions here. So that is nothing but a decision tree. You can just read this concept. And now we will learn something about, we had learned something about machine learning now. So this is also some of the concept regarding this machine learning, supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement. So now let us see Naive Bayes classifier algorithm. So Naive Bayes classifier is purely depends upon the probability concept. So it is a supervised learning algorithm. Mainly it includes a high dimensional training data set. So now we can just see the probability of hypothesis with a prior knowledge. So P of, this is a main master formula you guys need to remember properly. So P of A by B is equal to P of B by A into P of A by P of B. So this is not a bit difficult. P of A by B is equal to P of B by A into P of A by P of B. So now working procedure is nothing but they will give a data something like this in an exam. So they will give a data, this is our original data set, then we need to convert this into a frequency table. So this is a frequency table. So frequency table is nothing but let us forget these numbers. Then here we can just see rainy, summer, overcast. There are only three: rainy, summer, overcast. So we will just write it down here, and here we can just see this play yes or no. For rainy, how many times it is S, even if it is rainy, how many times we how we can just play. So here it is showing the probability. So for rainy S, how many times it is there? I think for rainy it is only for 2 times, and for 2 times it is no. And for sunny it is 3 times S and 2 times no. For overcast it is 5 times S and it is no at all. But actually here the total number of data is actually 14, but I had written only 8. So you guys need to find the probability, like the probability for overcast is 5 by 14, and for rainy is 4 by 14, and for sunny is 5 by 14. That is nothing but this side you need to calculate, and this side also you need to calculate some probabilities. So what is this probability? So the probability for total S will be this. The probability for total no will be this. The probability for overcast will be this. The probability of rainy will be this. The probability of sunny will be this, and this doesn't matter. So these are the probabilities with which we can find by using frequency table. So now here we need to implement this formula. In the question they will just give something like to find the probability in between Sunny and S they can play in Sunny, so they will give something like a statement and you need to find out the probability. You can do that by the above formula. P of S by Sunny is equal to P of Sunny by S into P of Sunny by P of S. So you can do that. What is P of Sunny by S? So how many times Sunny S is given? I think it's 3 by 14. Yeah. So 3 times it is S and 3 by 14 into P of Sunny. So P of Sunny is 5 by 14. 5 by 14 by P of S. P of S is 10 by 14. So 10 by 14 is 14 by 10. 5 by 14 into 14 by 10, that gives me 3 by 28. So this is a probability. So in this way we can write any type of relation according to the given statement or a problem. We can write any type of statement. So the advantages are it is fastest and it is used for multi-class and all the features are independent. It can't learn the relationship between the features. So linear regression, so you need to write some concept regarding this linear regression. So the basic note you need to write in the exam is one of the variable is dependent, one is independent. So this is dependent, this is independent. So it strives to show the relationship between two variables. So one is independent, one is dependent. Person's height and weight are related to each other. Linear regression equation, you need to remember this: y is equal to a plus bx, x is equal to the independent and y is equal to the dependent, and a is the slope of the line and b is the intercept. So now you need to remember this formula: summation of y into summation of x square minus summation of x into summation of xy. You guys need to remember this whole formula. So what is our least square regression? So it is the best method to fit a line in a xy plot by reducing the sum of the squares. So it is nothing but it draws like a mean line in between the data points. So from this whole data points, it is going to draw a mean line which covers or which flows through all the data points. So that is our least square regression. It depends upon the mean value and also the remaining point plots. So y is equal to b naught plus b1x. b naught is constant, and then you guys need to remember this formula also. So now human learning versus machine learning, this can be asked as a 8 marks question. So what is a difference in between the human learning versus machine learning? One of the major differences is nothing but human learning will learn from the real life examples, what he experiences, he learn from those things, whereas machine learning will just learn by drawing graphs and by making some statistics and by with the help of some linear regression equations. So pattern of night and morning, the basic pattern of night and morning is nothing but the people who will face towards the sun will experience the morning, and the people who are opposite to that will experience the night. So it is having a fixed time period where exposed to sun and as well as the moon. This mainly occurs due to the sun and the earth. The revolution causes this day and night. This pattern repeats over and over. There are two entities, sun and earth. The amount of the light received to the earth from the sun decides the day and night. So the models for this patterns are, we can generate some models with the help of different patterns. So I had generated 3 models, that is sun is switching on and off. This may be partially correct. So it keeps on changing its position, it is a medium correct. And then earth is rotating, people leaving towards the sun experiences the day, others experiences the night. I think this is an exact statement with which we can satisfy all the doubts or the conditions regarding this pattern. So you guys need to make some models to just check whether the given pattern is meeting its requirement or not. So which model is accurate from 3? Obviously the model 3 is accurate because it is giving a huge detail regarding the situation. But what happens when sun or earth stops working? So in this way the humans learn. So if sun or earth stops working, then what will happen? So in this way the humans will just generate questions and they generate doubts and then go in deep in that pattern. So machines will learn with the help of statistics and all those things. You guys can write it in the place of machine learning. So what is clustering and machine learning? Clustering in machine learning is nothing but way of grouping the data points into different clusters. Here we can just say like all the vegetables will be in one place in a market, all the biscuits will be in one place, all the chips will be in one place, all the cooking essentials will be in one place. So market segmentation, so statistical data analysis, even the social network analysis, all the categories which were regarding the education will be in one place, all regarding the entertainment will be in one place. So in this way they are going to categorize. So this is a clustering. So here we can see AAB, ABB, CCC, DDA, and we are clustering them into this 4 categories. So this is a clustering in machine learning. So different types of clustering methods there are. It is divided into 2 types, hard clustering and soft clustering. So these are some of the main clustering methods. They are partition clustering, density based clustering, distribution model based. So these are the diagrams you guys need to remember, and you can write it as a concept. So partitioning clustering is nothing but partitioning things. So it is nothing but a k-means clustering. So you can draw this diagram. So it divides the data into non-hierarchical groups, also known as a centroid based method. In this data set divided into k groups and clustering is minimum. Density based clustering, the method connects the highest dense areas into clusters, arbitrarily shaped distribution. So we need to consider here we are having some points, and then these are the highest away points in the whole data set, and we need to join those all things, and in between them there will be some data points. So this is a density based clustering. And distribution model based clustering is nothing but the probability of how a data set is particular distribution. So Gaussian distribution, maintaining equal distance in between the circles is a Gaussian distribution. Hierarchical clustering, it is divided into clusters like a T structured dendrogram. So the way in which we divide the whole data in the form of trees is hierarchical clustering. And then fuzzy clustering is nothing but they belong to one or more group or clusters. So it is like a pie chart. So the combination in between those things you can represent like that. So that is a fuzzy clustering. And then clustering algorithms are k-means clustering, mean shift algorithm, DB scan, exception maximization. So k-means I had discussed it before, dividing into k clusters is a k-means clustering. Mean shift is nothing but finding the dense areas in the smooth density of a data point, finding where the highest data point is away from the whole data, that is a dense area. Or otherwise we can say where the place where most of the data points are situated. So DB scan is nothing but areas of the high density, as I said before, highest data points are separated by areas of the lowest density. So k-means clustering algorithm, it is an unsupervised learning which groups the unlabeled data set into different clusters. The main aim is to reduce the sum of the distances in between the data points and their corresponding clusters. This performs mainly 2 tasks: determine the value of the k and the closest k centers. So how does it work? Select the number of k's to decide the number of clusters. Select random k points or centroids. Assign each data point to their closest centroid, which will form predefined clusters. Repeat the step 3. If reassignment occurs, go to the step 4 ready. So what is supervised learning? Supervised learning is nothing but we provide some data and also some expected outputs with which we will gain some correct answers using machine learning algorithms. So if there is basket full of fruits, we need to train machines with different fruits. We can just say like the fruit which is in a round shape and having a red color, then it is compulsorily a apple. So the machine will learn those statements and it will just detect the fruits whenever we put it in a scanner. So classification, when output variable is a category such as red or blue. Regression, when output is a real value such as dollar or a weight. Advantages, it allows collecting data and produce the output from previous experiences. Unsupervised learning, training of machine without any guidance is an unsupervised learning. Sorted data according to similarities, patterns and differences without any priorities is an unsupervised learning, as I said before. These are all concepts you guys need to learn with the help of my notes. So now let us see what is meant by a random forest algorithm. So random forest algorithm is nothing but a combination of decision trees. So combination of decision trees and then average in between them will give a final prediction. So that is a random forest algorithm. Greater the number of trees increases the accuracy of that particular prediction. So it combines multiple trees. So some may give the output, some may not give the exact output. So in this way this works. So we need to select k random data points and build a decision tree associated with the selected data points. Choose the number of n decision trees which want to be built. So this is an algorithm which you guys need to remember, and find the predictions according to the decision trees. And these are advantages and disadvantages. How to evaluate the performance of a machine learning. To evaluate the performance of a machine learning, we can just do one thing: classification, confusion matrix. So confusion matrix can be learned now. Before that, we need this example is given in our PPT, but I had found out some other example which is a bit easy. So here we can just see, like on a table this whole data is placed. So 3 apples, 3 oranges, 4 oranges and apple are placed. So we will just divide the whole data into 2, and I will consider the apples as a positive for some extent and then oranges as negative. So here we can just see, so this is if this is divided into 4 again. So if we divide this into 4 again, so these are true positive and true negative. So true positive, true negative. This is because true positive is nothing but in the place of apples, apples are placed, but in the place of apples, oranges are placed. So that's why there are 2 negative, true oranges. So here it is positive, negative, positive, negative. I think I am okay, fine. So this is true positive and then false positive. Sorry, I made a mistake. So if we divide the thing here, so true positive and false positive, and this is true negative, this is false negative. So in this way we are going to fix this confusion matrix. So with this you guys can read in the notes and find some clarity. So decision tree classification algorithm. So decision tree, you can the above one we can just leave it and you can just see this one for a better understanding. So decision tree will just move on until we get the final exact output or a prediction. So until we get the final data, the decision tree will just increase its leaf nodes to whatever extent it is. So that is a decision tree. So you can just see here, decision tree is building another 2 decision trees, and from those they are building leaf nodes, and from one leaf node and one leaf node is decision tree, and with this decision tree they are building some other leaf nodes. So in this way they are doing all these things. Information gain, measurement of changes in entropy after segmentation of a data set. Gini index, it is a measure of impurity used, it should be low. Pruning, getting an optimal decision tree. So basically pruning is a process of deleting the nodes which were unnecessary, and the main aim is to just reduce the size of that particular tree. So for that reason pruning is used. So 2 types of prunings that are used is cost complexity and reduced error pruning. So advantages are basically it is easy to get the possible outcomes. The things which were irrelated to that particular data set will be removed with the help of this pruning. Decision tree contains lot of layers, complexity may get increased if pruning doesn't happen. So support vector machine algorithm, this is also one of the important question. So support vector machine algorithm, we can write it as the line which is drawn in between a data sets, data points. So if there are 2 data points such as towards this side and towards this side. There are two data points which were marked over here. Then we are going to draw a line in between them such that it maintains equal distance in between those 2 points. So we will also draw a dotted line which will just represent the positive hyperplane and negative hyperplane. So this is a support vector machine. So its goal is to create a best line or a boundary that can segregate n-dimensional plane into classes. So it is going to divide the whole thing into classes. So now it chooses the extreme points that help in creating the hyperplane. So it will just check out here, it is going to check this point, and here it is going to check this point. So with the help of these 2 points, it is going to draw a line in between, because these are the most extreme points in this given data set. So now model training, prediction, new data, output. So it will just predict and give the output, model training. This is the main thing. So SVM can be used in is of two types, that is linear SVM. So when a data set is classified into two classes with the help of a straight line, obviously when we give a straight line, the data gets classified into two halves, then it is known as a linear SVM. Otherwise the non-linear SVM is nothing but which can't be classified with the help of a straight line, so the shape may be irregular. So now let us get into the natural language processing. So what is NLP? So NLP is nothing but it is an intersection of AI, computer science and linguistics. So what are linguistics? Linguistics is a subject of language. So it is nothing but study of words or sentences or grammar or whatever it is. So we can easily extract the info and insights from the NLP. So it helps us in personal assistance because it need to understand our words. Autocomplete also works on this NLP, spell checking, machine translation. So fast food chains uses conversational AI to receive orders. So the Chinese category will get into one place, and then the South Indian, North Indian categories will get into the another place. So in this way we can write the fast food chains as an application for using conversational AI. So brand launches a product through social media and uses sentiment analysis. So for using sentiment analysis, we should be aware of NLP, the linguistics and computer science. Subfields in the linguistics, as I said before, study of language. So phonetics is study of sounds, phonology is study of sound system, and morphology is study of formation and internal structure of words, whereas syntax is study of formation of sentences, semantics is meaning of a sentence. So you guys can try to remember at least 3 to 4 words so that you can just represent it in exam. So computer science is converting linguistics into programming with the help of artificial intelligence. So NLP is classified into 3 types, that is rule based system, classical machine learning and deep learning models. So rule based system is nothing but it can automate small tasks like extracting structured data from unstructured data. So data from an email, so it can classify the data which is in an unstructured way into a structured manner. Here we had got an example for the data from email. From email we can get the information like the person who had sent the mail, who had received the mail, what is the subject of the mail, so what is its language, what are number of words. Those all things can be done with the help of this rule based system, whereas classical machine learning it can solve complex problems like spam detection, to build models that has patterns and can make predictions for the unseen data. So it can solve the complex problems like spam detection. So it can make predictions for the unseen data. So deep learning models are nothing but these are classic machine learning algorithms which doesn't need any handcrafted features. So it will learn from scratch. So it will learn from the things which is made by itself only. So they are deep learning models. So how do computers understand text? So they will just convert the text into the like in this format like n into n matrix. So they convert the text into this format and they will try to understand it. So text representation techniques were mainly based on one-hot encoding. So it is one of the problem in our SEM2 examination, one-hot encoding. So drawbacks are huge memory capacity issues and a lack of semantics. So now let us get into the next topic, that is exploratory data analysis, EDA. So exploratory data analysis question can be written with the help of these two things, that is skewness and kurtosis. So what is this skewness and kurtosis we will discuss now. So the whole thing in this concept is completely based on the design or structure of that particular graph. So if it is in a bell shaped curve, then it is a normal distribution. So skewness is based on dragging or distortion. So in this way, if these are there, then this skewness is named with a different names. So mean, median, mode are same line, then it is symmetrical. So types of skewness. So if it is in towards right side, so if it is dragging towards the right side, then it is known as negatively skewed. So if it is in the middlemost, like it is having a structured way, then it is known as a symmetric. But positively skewed is nothing but which is dragged towards the left side. So if it is dragging towards the left side, then it is known as a positively skewed. So here we can see in this symmetric, the whole mean, median and mode is same because it is maintaining a structured way of graph, whereas in this the graph is irregular in this both. So that's why mean, median, modes are different for this two graphs, negatively skewed and positively skewed. So this is a formula you guys need to remember. This is nothing but the mean of these things. To find the mean of the things, n is the data and then y is the mean. So data is moderately skewed, data is highly skewed. So we can represent the skewing in this type also. So we can just write it like -1, -0.5, 0.51. So the data or the graph in between -5 to -0.5 is positive skew, whereas -0.5 to 0.5 is a symmetric skew, whereas 0.5 to 1 is a negative skew. So negative skew. So in this way we can just represent this thing. And now the next one is kurtosis. So kurtosis is a statistical measure that defines how the tails of the distribution differs. So this is a table you need to remember. Lepokurtic is greater than 3, Plotykurtic is less than 3, Mesokurtic is equal to 3. So this table you guys need to remember now. And then now we will discuss each thing. So mesokurtic is nothing but it is a normal distribution where the tails of this graphs doesn't matter, they will be in a normal position, whereas lepokurtic is nothing but the tails are long. So here we can just see like the tail is extending like this until here. So this is the tail is long for lepokurtic, whereas plotykurtic the tails doesn't even touch the tip of the graph. It is not possible. So that is plotykurtic. Tails are flat and small. So this is a Python code for this thing. You guys can just read it, and if you try to remember, you can also write the Python code in the examination. But this is a basic concept theory in the way in which we can write this exploratory data analysis. So now here we can see the next concept, that is a chromosome. So chromosome is one solution for given problem. So chromosome is population initialization, fitness function calculation, and then crossover, mutation, survivor selection. So this whole process, how it is done is this genotype representation. To make why implementation of a genetic algorithm is so binary representation. So binary representation is nothing but representing the whole data or the whole solution with the help of the zeros and ones is known as a binary representation, whereas real valued representation is nothing but with the help of this decimal values we can also represent this particular the things, the data, variables, and also the integer representation we can do with the help of this numbers. So population initialization is done with the help of this random initialization or heuristic initialization. So random initialization is nothing but crossover method. So these are the some types of crossovers. So now we will discuss one by one. So single point crossover. So single point crossover is nothing but randomly we can cross over things, but it can be done only at one place. So if it is going to do complete in a one place where they both are going to get swapped, then it is known as a single point crossover, whereas multi-point crossover is nothing but if it is more than one point. So crossover is happening with more than one point, then it is known as a multi-point crossover, whereas uniform crossover is nothing but the way in which some continuous elements get crossed. So here we can just see like I think so these two gets crossed away. So in this way, if the things are crossed continuously, then it is known as then it is known as a uniform crossover. Here you can just see like this, and again this. So here also the same thing. So these both and these both got crossed over. So uniform crossover is nothing but it just get divided into segments with an equal ratio. So order 1 crossover is nothing but, here we can just see like if we just write some elements like this, and order 1 crossover for the following example is we need to just write something like 7216. So we need to just fix like these things shouldn't change in the final output. So whatever may be the parent or whatever may be the child, this final thing should not be changed. So we will directly write these things here, and we will just cross over and write over whatever it is required. So the remaining things what we write doesn't matter, but these 4 shouldn't change. That is done with the help of this order 1 crossover. So mutation, swap mutation, inversion mutation, and all those things are like the above ones, same, but the names are a bit different. In the starting of this video, I explained you about this A star algorithm. So A star algorithm is nothing but, if we just start it from here and if we need to reach this thing, we can do in either ways, like calculating the path cost plus the heuristic value of that particular element. So here we can just see like 6 plus 8 is greater than 3 plus 6. So after 7, 8, 9, obviously this is small, right? So we will go in this path. So from here again we will calculate this both thing. I think there should be some value here. So let us consider 5 plus 5, 10, 7 after 8, 9, 10. This both are equal. We may choose the either path. So here we can just see 3 and 1. 3 plus 1, 4. This is also done. And then from here 3 or else 5. 3 is there. So in this way we can just write some path. So it's a cost of that path plus heuristic value. I had discussed this A star algorithm in the starting of the video, and then local search algorithm. This is also done. So this is a 4 queens problem. I think 4 queens problem is some of the easiest problem in this whole thing. So 4 queens problem is nothing but predicting the particular place in which we can just place the 4 queens in a chessboard. So there shouldn't be any row mutation, column mutation, or crossover. So there should be nothing, but we should place 4 queens. That is the way in which we work, and we can also draw some graph for that. So this is a steepest ascent. I also discussed this block structured problem also. So now I think there is something important in this simulated annealing. I also discussed this with you. I think I didn't explain this beam search. So beam search is nothing but it expands the most optimistic node in a limited set, and it will just search for the best first search. Best first search is nothing but searching for the most optimized solution. So here we can just say like if we just open A, then it will open B and C. So after opening B and C, it will just try to check the heuristic value for both. As these are having more heuristic values, it is going to open D and E. So after opening D and E, it will go with E, and then finally it will reach the goal state. So in this way we can just say like it will open the most important the node which is required. And the travel salesman problem also, it is one of the important thing, like randomly generated k values will be done, and with the help of the heuristic values the person will move from one place to another, and he need to cover every place, and he need to reach back after the whole traveling. That is say travel salesman problem. So I think this made some sense for CO2, CO3 and CO4. I will just upload the notes in the description. I'll give the link. So thank you for watching Works After College, guys. Please share with your friends. Please support our channel. Thank you.